I want you to think about the very last time you pulled out your phone to look something up.
Probably happened like, what, 10 minutes ago for most people?
Right, exactly. So you typed a question into the search bar, or, maybe you just spoke it out loud. And a few seconds later, the answer just appeared right there at the very top of your screen.
No clicking required.
Exactly. You read it, you got what you needed, and you closed the tab. You didn't click a single link.
Yeah, that is the new normal.
It really is. It is Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. And look, if you're like most people navigating the internet on this exact day, that frictionless, click-free experience, it isn't just a convenience anymore. It's basically becoming your entire digital life.
Yeah, we're witnessing a fundamental alteration in the basic physics of the internet. I mean, for the last 20 plus years, the entire web was built on a remarkably simple contract, right?
A search engine finds a destination, and you travel there.
Right. You provide the click, they provide the traffic.
Yeah.
But that journey is, well, it's being completely short-circuited now.
And that structural collapse is exactly why we are here today. We are doing a deep dive into this massive 70-page SEO daily technology report that was compiled earlier this month.
It's a dense read, but a crucial one.
Yeah, it really is. And the mission for this deep dive is to help you, our listener, who really needs to stay well informed on this stuff, understand the absolute earthquake happening in online visibility right now. The era of the traditional blue link is, frankly, it's dying.
It is dead.
Yeah, well, and the era of the decision engine has officially arrived. So I keep hearing that standard web traffic is evaporating, but I really want to understand the actual scale of this. Like, how bad is the drop-off getting?
The scale is staggering. I mean, to give you the exact picture, we have to look at this landmark study from SparkToro and SimilarWeb.
The one that just analyzed the first 4 months of 2026.
That's the one. They found that 68.01% of all Google searches ended without a single click to an external website.
Wait, almost 70%. So out of every 10 people looking for something, 7 of them just read the screen and leave.
That is the reality today. And look, just 2 years ago, in 2024, that number was hovering around 50%.
Which the industry already considered a total crisis back then.
Right. So a nearly 20-point jump in 2 years it's a massive behavioral acceleration. And the data points directly to the catalyst here, which is AI overviews, and more specifically, Google AI mode.
Right, that interface where the AI just writes out a synthesized paragraph instead of, giving you a list of websites.
Exactly.
But how widely adopted is that specific feature right now? Is it still something users have to, opt into?
Oh, no, not more. At Google I/O this year, they announced that Google AI mode just passed 1 billion monthly active users.
1 billion?
Yeah, query volume is doubling every single quarter. And here is the statistic that should frankly keep every business owner awake at night. When a user engages specifically with AI mode, the zero-click rate skyrockets to between 92 and 94%.
94%. Okay, wow. Let's unpack this for a second. Only 6 to 8% of the time does anyone ever leave Google to visit the actual website where the information came from.
Basically, yeah.
So it's like the old Google was essentially a really helpful librarian who pointed you to the right aisle and said, the book you need is over there. You had to go get it yourself.
Right, you got to do the walking.
But the new Google is a librarian who just reads the book out loud to you, closes it, and sends you on your way.
That's a perfect way to look at it.
So my ultimate question is, if only 6% of people are actually clicking through, how does any digital business survive in 2026?
Well, you have to force a complete psychological shift in how you view digital marketing.
What do you mean?
Well, for 2 decades, the ultimate prize was fighting tooth and nail for that #1 blue link, because that guaranteed immediate measurable traffic.
Yeah.
Today, direct response search engine optimization is largely obsolete. The new goal is brand awareness SEO within those AI channels.
Brand awareness SEO, meaning you are just conceding that you won't get the click today.
Yeah. You are playing a much longer game of psychological conditioning, really. You're trying to capture the AI's mind share.
Interesting.
It's no longer about getting the user to your website immediately. It's about being the specific brand that the AI cites in its generated answer.
Oh, I see. So if the AI consistently tells 1 billion users, hey, according to brand X, the best approach is whatever.
Exactly. The user subconsciously logs your brand as the ultimate authority. So the next time they need to buy a product or hire a service, they bypass the generic search entirely.
They just search for your brand directly.
Right. You basically use the AI as a global PR engine.
Okay, that makes total sense in theory.
Yeah.
But if the AI is essentially acting as this omniscient librarian reading the book to you, how is it deciding which book is actually reliable?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right, because an AI doesn't inherently know what is true. It just, predicts language, which really makes me wonder how the search engines are managing quality control.
Well, the timing of that question is perfect because the tension around quality control is exactly what the June 2026 spam update was trying to address.
Oh, right, that update just wrapped up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, ran from June 24th to June 26th.
I saw some headlines about that. It caused a massive amount of ranking volatility globally. Who exactly got hit?
Well, the systems aggressively targeted automated content farms, cloaking, and manipulative link schemes.
Cloaking, just for context for everyone, is that deceptive practice where a website detects whether a visitor is a human or a search engine crawler, right?
Exactly. So it shows a perfectly clean, highly relevant page to the Google bot, but then when a human clicks the link, it redirects them to some spammy, ad-filled nightmare.
Yeah, the worst.
The update absolutely crushed sites attempting to game the system with those tactics, particularly the sites just pumping out thousands of low-quality AI-generated articles.
Okay, I have to push back on that a little bit, or at least, play devil's advocate for a second. Google is completely pivoting its entire multi-billion-dollar business model to an AI interface that uses large language models to generate answers.
Right.
But simultaneously, they're aggressively punishing independent websites for using AI to generate content. I mean, isn't that wildly hypocritical?
Look, I hear that argument constantly, and on the surface, yeah, it absolutely feels hypocritical. But the nuance here is mechanical.
How so?
Google's detection systems have become incredibly sophisticated in 2026. They are not punishing the use of AI. They are punishing pure automation abuse.
But how does a machine actually distinguish between those two things?
It looks for semantic depth and statistical watermarking.
Okay, break that down for me.
So when a content farm sets an AI loose to write 1,000 articles about personal finance with zero human oversight,
Wow.
the AI tends to just predict the most statistically likely next word.
Right, it's just doing math.
Exactly. It creates a very average, highly predictable sentence structure.
But a human expert, even when using AI to help outline or maybe refine their thoughts, they bring unexpected analogies, leaps of logic, and specific real-world experiences that break those predictable mathematical patterns.
I see.
Google is drawing a very hard line between AI-assisted human creation and pure, unsupervised automation.
Oh, so it's like the difference between using a calculator to double-check your tax math versus just letting the calculator guess your total income and submitting it to the government.
That captures the dynamic perfectly. And the mechanism Google uses to enforce this brings us directly to the EET signals.
Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
You got it. For years, these were just loose guidelines in a manual for quality raters. But the SEO Daily Technology Report makes it crystal clear that as of July 2026, EEAT signals are hard algorithmic ranking factors.
So the algorithm is essentially demanding actual receipts.
Oh, absolutely. Especially for what they call YMYL topics, your money or your life. Right. Anything touching finance, health, legal advice, safety.
Yeah. The AI overviews are actually much more aggressive about rewarding EET than the old traditional search results ever were. The AI fundamentally wants to cite an established, verifiable entity over some well-optimized but totally anonymous blog.
But what does an algorithmic receipt actually look like? Like, how do you practically prove to machine that you have real-world experience?
The report highlights a HubSpot State of Marketing survey from just a few months ago that answers this really well.
What did they find?
They found that 48.57% of marketers say their top trend right now is using AI to create personalized, highly authoritative content.
Okay, so almost half.
Yeah. You prove your experience by basically merging SEO and public relations.
PR and SEO coming together.
Exactly. You need real author bios with verifiable credentials. The algorithm is looking for industry citations, press mentions, podcast interviews, speaking engagements.
So if a real, verifiable human being isn't standing behind the information, the AI just won't trust it.
It won't trust it enough to serve it to 1 billion users?
Yeah.
No. Genuine topical authority is the absolute foundation of the modern internet.
Okay, let's follow that logic then. Let's say you've done the hard work. You hired the experts, you have the PR, you've been cited in major magazines.
You're an undeniable human authority.
Exactly. But you still have a massive translation problem, don't you? You have to take all of that wonderful, nuanced human expertise and translate it into a format that these giant, literal-minded AI machines can instantly digest. How do you actually do that?
Well, you have to rip out the old plumbing of your website and basically replace it.
Huh.
We have officially moved from keyword strategy to entity SEO.
Right, because for decades, it was entirely about keywords. If you wanted to sell running shoes, you just make sure the exact phrase, best running shoes, was stuffed into your title, your headers, your paragraphs.
And if you try doing that today, you will be completely ignored. Entity SEO is about structuring your content around well-defined concepts, people, places, organizations, products. And the way you communicate this to a machine is through something called JSON LD schema markup.
Okay, let me try to put this in plain English for our listeners, because JSON LD sounds like a Star Wars droid.
Fair enough.
So if standard SEO is just shouting words on a page and hoping the algorithm notices, entity SEO is like building a detective's corkboard.
I like that.
If I write the word apple on my website, the machine doesn't inherently know if I'm talking about the fruit or the tech company. But JSON LD is a hidden script in the code of your website that explicitly acts like a red string connecting the clues.
Yes.
It says entity, Apple Inc., category, organization, CEO, Tim Cook. We're taking away all the guesswork.
That corkboard analogy is exactly how a knowledge graph works in these models. And AI is constantly trying to build relationships between entities.
So if things aren't clear.
Right. If your brand, your founders, and your products are not consistently defined across the web using these hidden digital name tags, the AI just gets confused.
And it won't cite you.
In 2026, an AI generating answers for 1 billion users does not have the compute time to sit there and be confused by your website.
It just moves on.
Yeah, if it isn't 100% sure about your entity relationships, it skips you. Technical entity clarity is a strict prerequisite just to even get on the playing field now.
That is wild. And along with JSON LD, the report mentions something called the LMMs.txt standard. It says over 15% of major websites have already adopted it. What is that, and how does it fit into this corkboard?
It is a fascinating technical evolution, really. I mean, in the old days of the web, sites used a file called robots.txt to tell search engines which pages they were not allowed to crawl right.
Right, keeping the bots out of certain areas.
Well, the LMOs.txt standard flips that entirely on its head. It's a specific file placed in a website's root directory that directly guides large language models to your highest trust, most factual content.
Oh, so it's essentially a VIP pass for the AI crawler. You're saying, don't bother reading our marketing fluff or our privacy policy. Read this specific document containing our core factual entities.
Precisely. You are basically handing the machine a perfectly structured cheat sheet.
Okay, but this all leads to a massive operational problem, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, if standard clicks are gone, and we are playing this invisible game of entity SEO and AI mindshare, how does a marketing team actually prove to their boss that they are winning?
Yes.
You can't just open up a spreadsheet and show a chart of website visitors anymore. There are no clicks.
You've hit on the exact problem that has birthed an entirely new billion-dollar software industry almost overnight.
Because the rules changed.
Right, because the rules of visibility changed, the tools to measure success had to adapt, and the most prominent example in the report is a company called Profound.
Yeah, they're the new unicorn in the room, right?
They really are.
Yeah.
Profound just hit a $1 billion valuation off the back of a $96 million Series C funding round. And what they do is track AI visibility across more than 10 different engines simultaneously. We're talking ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, Copilot, all of them.
That's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, they have over 400 million prompt insights in their database right now.
So how does their tracking actually work in practice?
They calculate something they call an AEO, Score Answer Engine Optimization. But the truly revolutionary mechanic they offer is competitive displacement tracking.
Competitive displacement.
Yeah. They systematically query the major large language models with thousands of industry-specific prompts every single day, and then they map how the AI's responses change over time.
Oh man, think about the power of that from a business owner's perspective.
It's massive.
Imagine a potential customer opens up ChatGPT and asks for a recommendation in your specific software category. Profound will basically send you an alert showing that yesterday the AI recommended you, but today it recommended your biggest rival instead.
Exactly.
It is literally like finding out the librarian is actively steering people away from your book in real time.
And that granular level of displacement insight is exactly why enterprise teams are pouring budgets into this new category.
Hmm.
I mean, the report has the receipts to prove it works, too.
Yeah, what were those numbers?
So a company called Ramp saw a 7x visibility boost using Profound's insights.
7 times.
Yeah. Rootly, another tech company, they attributed $126,000 in incremental media value directly to optimizing for these AI engines.
That's real money.
It is. And it isn't just Profound doing this. Athena HQ is driving hundreds of thousands in new revenue for early adopters. Peak AI is building similar tools for smaller teams, and Omnia is doing incredible work with competitor displacement analysis too.
I am curious about the old guard, though,
Yeah.
because if you have been in digital marketing for more than a week, you know the legacy names, right? SEMrush, RFs, Surfer SEO. If this new wave of software is tracking AI visibility, what happens to the companies built on tracking old school blue link clicks?
They're adapting aggressively. They're
Yeah.
baking AI analysis deep into their core architecture. Take SEMrush, for example.
How do they do it?
They've deeply integrated their new Copilot AI across their entire platform. So they're no longer just tracking where you rank on a page. They're tracking AI referral traffic and monitoring direct brand searches that are triggered right after a user is exposed to your brand in an AI overview.
Oh, that's smart.
And they even developed a proprietary AI readability score.
Wait, a readability score for machines? How does that even work?
Well, it evaluates your page structure, your entity markup, and your syntax to predict how likely an AI assistant is to successfully extract your information and actually cite it.
That's incredible.
Surfer SEO did something remarkably similar, actually. They were always the leader in analyzing the actual words on a page, but they recently updated their content score to measure factual density.
Factual density. How does a machine measure a fact?
It looks for subject, predicate, object triples.
Okay, give me an example.
So like, the sky is blue. It scans a paragraph, strips away all the descriptive fluff and the marketing adjectives, and counts how many verifiable entity relationships actually exist in the text.
Oh, so it just evaluates how easily a large language model can parse your text for hard data.
Exactly.
And then there is ARIFs, which has historically been the darling of the deep technical crowd. How are they evolving in all this?
The report notes they are now boasting an ultra-fast 15 to 30-minute link index update.
Wow, that's fast.
Very. They're utilizing their own AI models to automatically flag toxic link patterns, which, by the way, protects you from that June spam update we discussed earlier.
Right, keeping you out of trouble.
Yeah, and it helps spot link gain opportunities. But most crucially, tying back to the whole technical shift, Ahrefs just added a native validator for the lmfs.txt file.
Oh, so you can instantly check if your AI crawler directives are actually functioning properly.
Yes, exactly.
It is just a complete arms race right now. I mean, the legacy tools are trying to retrofit their platforms for machine readability, while the new AI visibility trackers are basically trying to prove that the old metrics are totally irrelevant.
It's chaotic, but the consensus across the entire software spectrum is unanimous. Turning AI visibility signals into prioritized, measurable action is literally the only path forward.
Well, let's bring all of these threads together for you, our listener. If your goal is to stay ahead of the curve and understand the mechanics of the digital world on this exact day, July 14, 2026, the core lesson is this. The internet has transformed from a directory of links into a ubiquitous, omniscient answer machine.
And to remain visible inside that answer machine, you must master two disciplines that sound like opposites, but are actually just two sides of the same coin.
Which are?
First, you need extreme technical clarity. You have to structure your data using entity SEO, JSON LD, and LMS.txt so the machines never have to guess who you are or what you do.
Right.
And second, you need undeniable human authority. You must cultivate those EEAT signals, the real-world expertise, and the PR footprint that proves a verifiable human being stands behind the information.
It really is the marriage of the detective's corkboard and the public relations campaign.
It is. And look, knowledge is only valuable when it is applied. Memorizing the fact that 68% of searches end without a click is just interesting trivia.
Right. It doesn't do anything for you on its own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Applying that knowledge means fundamentally altering your operational strategy. Businesses that adapt to AI citation optimization and build their brand as a trusted entity, they will thrive.
And the ones who don't.
Those who stubbornly keep chasing the traditional #1 blue link are going to disappear entirely into the void of that zero-click statistic. If the AI doesn't see you, the user will never know you exist.
Man. It is a harsh reality, but it is the reality of the decision engine era.
It really is.
As we wrap up this deep dive into the July 2026 SEO Tech Report, I want to leave you with a final lingering thought. It's something that wasn't explicitly answered in the data we looked at today, but it is the logical conclusion of everything we've discussed.
I'll say that.
If Google's AI engines, and really all the major large language models, are increasingly relying on established brand authority, massive PR signals, and historical trust to formulate their answers, how will a brand new startup or an independent, completely unknown voice ever break through that trust barrier to get cited in the future?
That is the real danger.
Right. If you need authority to get cited by the AI, but you need the AI to cite you to build modern authority, is the AI internet essentially pulling up the ladder behind the big established players?
It's a great question.
I invite you to ponder that the next time you ask an AI a question and it hands you the perfect, frictionless answer. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.